So, we were discussing frames of references that we normally use at the surface of the earth, like our laboratory and so on. So, we place our origin on the surface and then put up x, y, z axis. Now, this axis system rotates with respect to this NS line, which is the north pole south pole line about which this earth is rotating. At the same time, the origin is going in a circle, because origin is also fixed on the earth, the entire earth is rotating, x, y, z, everything rotate about that same axis, and then we set up our equations. And we found finally that we have this equation, mass times acceleration as measured from our frame, is any applied force which is there, which we can write again the gravitational force mg and other forces, because most of the time with that we will be working with this force alone. And then you have this m omega square capital R radius of the earth sin lambda. Lambda is the co-latitude. So, from this equator, how much above we are, that angle is known as latitude, and 90 degrees minus that means angle from this rotation axis and this vertical angle between that is lambda, known as co-latitude. So, that lambda is here, and then the direction of this term is towards the outward radial direction of this circle like this. So, that E cap I have written, and then we have usual centrifugal force term and Coriolis force term, and this small r is the position vector of the particle from the origin that we have chosen on the surface. So, this is the equation, and these two terms if I consider, I can write this as m into this g effective, and g effective is the g which is the vertically downward direction passing through the center of the earth, that is this, and then together with this we have omega square capital R sin lambda and E cap, and this g effective is independent of your particle, the motion of the particle or anything, mass of the particle, velocity of the particle, it is all independent, it is fixed at a particular position of the origin, right, of your frame. So, that lambda decides whether you are working in Kanpur or you are working in Shimla or you are working in Srinagar. So, that will decide the lambda, but it is independent of particles. Once you have fixed the frame, this term is fixed. Okay. So, this whole thing which is independent of your particle and its motion is known as g effective, and let us see what this g effective is, how much it differs from the real g. We have to just change this g to g effective if we want to work on this frame. So, our first task is to look at this g effective. All right. So, once again let me draw this. Your g is towards the center. So, let me draw another circle, because that is too clumsy. Okay, and suppose I am here, this is the center of the earth, this is that rotation axis N and S, okay, and then this point is going, this earth is going this way. So, this point is also going in that circle, and then this is the direction in which I have to write that omega square capital R and sin lambda. This angle is lambda, and this is a right angle, this is a right angle triangle, and this is lambda. So, if you see how much is this omega square R and then sin lambda in this particular direction. So, that is this term, and g is in this direction, g is in this direction, 9.8 meter per second square, that g is in this direction, and resultant of these two will be the direction, and it will give me the direction and magnitude of this g effective. So, this is our g effective. Okay. So, because of the presence of this term in general, this resultant will not pass through the center of the earth. This resultant will not pass through the center of the earth, and for us this is our vertical direction. This is the true vertical, this is the true vertical, this is vertically downward and this is vertically upward, this is vertically upward. But for us, we will only have access to this direction. This is our vertical, our vertically upward direction. What does this mean? This means that if I have, let us say, a pendulum just staying at rest, not oscillating. So, I have just suspended a pendulum and it is at its rest. That strain, we understand this is the vertical direction. That is how operatively we find our vertical. Plumb line, people call it plumb line, all these walls which are there in the room, they are made vertical by using the plumb lines. So, they just suspend some heavy block here, heavy ball here, and then they make all the walls, vertical walls, parallel to that string. So, this is our vertical, okay, which is in fact in the direction of this g effective, because since it is in equilibrium, and there is no Coriolis force, and I can put up my origin right here. So, that this term is also 0, and therefore, this t here and this m times g effective here, they should balance each other, and therefore, the direction of this string should be in the direction of this g effective opposite to that, and the magnitude should be equal to mass times g effective. For us, this is the vertical. For us sitting here, this is the vertical direction, this is the vertical direction, which is not passing through the center. When we make things horizontal, normally when buildings are made, we need floor to be very horizontal, the beams, many of the beams are horizontal. So, these people use water level, okay, because free surface of water is always horizontal. Now, what is that horizontal? That is perpendicular to this g effective, that is perpendicular to this g effective. In the on the globe, what is the horizontal? It is a tangent plane to this surface. If I show you on the globe, suppose this is our earth, this is the axis of rotation, north pole of this earth, south pole of the earth, and then this earth is rotating about this, and suppose our laboratory is somewhere here, suppose somewhere here. So, what is vertical? This is vertical, this direction is vertical, which is going through the center of the earth and the point where you are looking for that vertical, and perpendicular to this vertical, that will be the tangent plane on the earth's surface from this point, this tangent plane. This is the horizontal, perpendicular to the vertical, and then in this horizontal I have north, south, east, west, everything. And how do I define north? This is north pole. So, if I am here, then you look for that shortest curve from that point to this north in this direction, the tangent in this direction, this is north, all right, this is north, and then perpendicular to that on the right side, this is east, and opposite to that is west, and then opposite to north is south. So, that is how our directions east, west, north, south are determined. all in the plane which is tangent to this earth surface from the point of your interest, from the origin of your frame of reference. So, that is how north, south, east, west are defined. At different places these directions will be different, but wherever you are, accordingly you define north, south, east, west, horizontal. But in when we are determining the horizontal plane using water level or whatever, it is not the tangent, it is slightly different, it is perpendicular to G effective and not G. Okay. So, that is the situation. Now, let us see how much is the effect, how much is this deviation angle, how much is the difference between this G and this G effect. So, it is a simple parallelogram addition of two vectors, one is G here, another is omega square r sin lambda here, and there is an angle between these two, and how much is that angle? If this is lambda, this angle is 90 minus lambda, and therefore, this angle is theta equal to, not this theta, it is 90 degrees plus lambda, this angle between these two vectors. So, I have now two vectors, and this is the parallelogram law addition of these two, this is G effective. So, you remember, if you have a vector A here and a vector B here, and the angle between them is theta, and this is how you complete the parallelogram, and then you say that this is that resultant of these two, this is that sum of these two resultant, and you can call it C, and then C square, magnitude of C square is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. This is the magnitude, and this resultant makes an angle alpha with this A vector, where tan of alpha is if this is alpha, tan alpha is this perpendicular divided by this base, and this perpendicular itself, this is theta, remember, and this is B, so this is B. So, this perpendicular itself is B sin theta, and then divided by this whole thing, which is A plus B cos theta. So, this is our class 10th vector addition rules. Accordingly, let us apply it here. So, the magnitude of G effective square is equal to A square, first vector, let us say this vector G, then plus B square, that is omega square r sin lambda whole square, and then plus 2 times A B, that means G here, omega square r sin lambda here, and cos of the angle between the two vectors. So, cos of 90 degrees plus lambda, the angle between the two vectors is 90 degrees plus lambda. So, G effective is equal to square root of G square, or you can take that G here if you so wish, you can take this G here. So, it is 1 here plus omega square r by G, and then sin lambda square of this, and minus cos of 90 degree plus lambda is minus sin lambda. So, minus 2 times omega square r by G and sin square lambda to the power half. Okay. This G square we have taken out, and power half, therefore, it is G. So, divide by G square. So, 1 here, omega square r sin lambda whole square divided by G square. So, that is here omega square r sin lambda by G square, then this is minus of sin lambda. So, it becomes sin square lambda here and a minus sign, and divide by G square. So, 2 times omega square r sin square lambda by G to the power half. So, this is the magnitude, and the direction this how much is this angle alpha from the true vertical, how much is our vertical deviated. So, that angle is alpha. So, tan alpha is, it is from the G. So, if it is from A, then this formula is used. So, tan alpha will be the other vector omega square r sin lambda, it is this B, and then multiplied by sine of theta. Theta is the angle between A and B. So, theta is the angle between these two vectors, which is 90 degree plus lambda. So, sine of 90 degrees plus lambda, and divided by the first vector, which is G, and then plus the second vector, which is omega square r sin lambda, and then cos of theta. So, cos of 90 degrees plus lambda, this will be omega square r sin lambda, omega square r sin lambda cos lambda divided by, and then this quantity G minus omega square r and then sin square lambda. Okay. So, let us work with numbers. How much is omega, how much is capital R, and so on. So, how much will be alpha and how much will be this G effective. So, let us have some feel of numbers, right. So, start with this omega. What is this omega? This omega is the angular speed of rotation of earth about its axis, and you know how much it is. This will be 2 pi. Earth rotates by 2 pi radians in 24 hours. So, 24 into 3600 radian per second, and if you work out, this turns out to be around 7.29 into 10 to the power minus 5 radian per second. So, it is a small number. If I am using everything in SI, then this omega is 7.29 into 10 power minus 5, it is a small number, and omega square r, because wherever this omega is coming, it is coming in this combination omega square r. Okay. So, omega square r. So, this is 7.29 square and into 10 power minus 10 multiplied by r, capital R, this is the radius of the earth. So, 6400 kilometers into 10 power 3 meters. So, this is it. So, this quantity is something like 53.0 into 64, and then 5 here and into 10 power minus 5. So, that is omega square r, and this turns out to be 0.034 what meter per second square. Okay. So, this is omega square r. If you compare with G, this omega square r by G is this divided by 10, G is 10, around 10. So, this will be 0.0034. So, in 10 meter per second square, the correction is of the order we will just work it out why I am saying this, is of the order 0.034 meter per second square. So, in 100 it will be 0.34. So, it is 0.34%. If you compare omega square r and G, then this omega square r is about 0.34% of of g. Now, let us first look at the direction. Let us first look at the direction. How much is our vertical deviated from the true vertical? So, this is here omega square r, and then sin lambda cos lambda g minus this. You can divide by g in numerator and denominator, and you can write this as tan alpha is equal to, or we can write it here, we have space, divided by g. So, omega square r by g, and then sin lambda and cos lambda, and then whole thing divided by 1 minus omega square r by g, and then sin square lambda. Now, see what happens to this if I make lambda equal to 0. If I make lambda equal to 0 on the globe, where am I? If this lambda is 0, where am I? I am at the north pole, or if this lambda is pi, I am on the south pole. Okay, so this will be sin lambda into cos lambda. If lambda is 0, this is 0, and therefore, alpha is 0, tan alpha is 0 and alpha is 0, no deviation, no deviation, and it should be like this, because if you are here, how much is this omega square capital R sin lambda, right? This sin lambda is 0, this whole number is 0, this whole vector is 0. This r sin lambda is in fact this radius, r sin lambda is this radius, this whole thing is capital R, and this is lambda, and it is this radius for which we had written this omega square, this capital R into sin lambda. And if you are here on the poles, this radius is 0. If you are here, then this radius is this much. If you are here, this radius is this much. At the pole, this radius is 0. So, you do not have that term, you only have this mg, and therefore, the g effective is in this direction. The magnitude is also not changed, because this vector is itself 0. So, at the poles, you have no deviation in this vertical, and also the magnitude of g effective is same as g. What happens if I am, so lambda equal to 0, alpha is equal to 0, no deviation. What if lambda is equal to pi by 2, and here g effective is same as g value? If lambda is pi by 2, where you are? If lambda is pi by 2, you are somewhere on the equator, you are here. And everywhere on the equator, lambda is 90 degrees, right? When you define this lambda, all these points on the globe, you have same lambda, because from anywhere you draw this radius, it will be like a cone, and this will be the perpendicular cross section. So, lambda equal to pi by 2, you have cos lambda sitting here, cos of pi by 2 is 0, and therefore, this quantity is again 0, alpha is again 0. What is the significance? If you are on the equator, g, the real vertical is in this direction, passing through the center of the earth, this is the real g. So, if you are somewhere on the equator of the earth, then this small g is passing through the center of the earth, and this circle is now here, and therefore, this direction is here. So, it is the same direction, omega square r into sin lambda, and sin lambda is 1. So, this whole radius of the earth is here, omega square times r here and g here. They are on the same line in opposite directions, and therefore, the resultant is also in the same line, and the resultant magnitude is g minus omega square r, and omega square r, you know how much it is this. So, g effective G effective is G and minus omega square r. So, this is around 10 and this is 0.034 meter per second square. The effective G is slightly less than the actual G at the equator. Okay. So, magnitude wise here it is G effective is equal to G and here it is somewhat less than G. Whether it gradually decreases or there are some maxima and minima in between, that we can see from this expression that we will do. But first lambda, first this alpha, the deviation angle. The deviation angle, if you see this sine lambda cos lambda, then since this 1 is here and this quantity is very small, omega square by r by g 0.0034 unit less, and therefore, this whole quantity is very small, whatever is lambda. If lambda is pi by 2, this is 1, otherwise it changes, and therefore, the denominator will not make much of difference as lambda varies, but this thing you can say sin lambda and cos lambda, and you can find at which lambda this is maximum. It is 0 at lambda equal to 0, it is 0 at lambda equal to pi by 2. So, in between at some place it will have a maximum value and that will be 45 degrees, very close to 45 degrees, very close to because of this term, but this is very small. So, it will be quite close to 45 degrees and therefore, at 45 degrees you have maximum alpha. So, our vertical and the true vertical, that deviation we are talking of. So, maximum alpha will be omega square r by g into sin 45 and then cos 45, which is 1 by root 2 into 1 by root 2. So, that will be omega square r by 2 g, which is 0.0034 divided by 2, that is 0.0017, very small number, and this is tan alpha. Since it is very small number, alpha is almost same as tan alpha you can write, and therefore, this is 0.0017 radian. So, how many degrees? 1 radian is 57 degrees roughly. 1 radian is 57 degrees, 3.14 radian is 180 degrees. From there you can calculate how much is 1 radian. So, it is around 57 degrees. So, multiplied by 57 and that number will be something like 0.1 degree. So, this is a maximum deviation, okay, 0.1 degree, 1/10 of a degree. So, that is the maximum deviation which occurs where you have lambda equal to 45, almost 45 degrees. So, it is not a great difference that we are not using the true vertical or so, but nevertheless whatever we are using, that we are using G effective, we are using the vertical, which is our vertical is along G effective and not along G. Although the deviation is very small, maximum deviation is only 0.1 degree, and similarly the value of G, that also changes from pole to equator, and then also you can see from here. Here we have omega square r by g, which is a small quantity, remember this is 0.0034 square of that. Here it is at small quantity and here it is square of that. So, this is not going to make any effect, any significant effect, and then as your lambda is increasing, gradually this quantity will increase and gradually this quantity will decrease. So, G effective will continuously decrease from G to this value G minus omega square r, and remember omega square r is only this 0.034 meter per second square. So, it gradually decreases and it reaches here. So, we will stop here, and with this these numbers in mind, we will just take that as a vertical, that G effective as G in direction and magnitude, and then we will use our equations to find the path of the particle if I release it from here and it is dropped. I know what happens to the plumb line. I know what happens to my pendulum if I am not oscillating, that just stays in the direction of that our vertical, that G effective direction. Okay. But if I drop it, whether it goes along that vertical, our vertical, or even with respect to our vertical, there are some deviations because of these pseudo forces, that we will see in the next lecture.